We've got a playoff preview for Wild Card Weekend. It's the Lions and Saints. We know that both these teams like to air it out. The two quarterbacks combining for over 10,000 yards passing this year is just crazy. But which defense is more likely to slow down the other offense?
I mean, I think it has to be New Orleans in the sense that the Saints have both a running attack and a passing attack. They can throw their wide receivers, their backs, their tight ends. I mean, they've got so many places to go. There's some diversity to the Lions, but they mainly go to their tight ends and their wide receivers. The running game, hit or miss. I just don't think they're quite as diverse as the Saints are, and the Saints do have some big play potential on defense.
They do, and they've had more of that as the season has gone on. It's been not quite to the expectation that Greg Williams usually has for that unit. Haven't had as many sacks as they would like, haven't had as many takeaways as they would like. But Drew Brees gets rid of the ball so quickly. He's so efficient. He's so smart with everything he does. The Lions have a pass rush to get to him. I just don't think they will. He's just too good for them.
The Lions have struggled this year against playoff teams, going only 1-5 this year against teams that are currently in the postseason. Why is that, and can they remedy that against what really is the hottest team in the league?
You know, some of those games were pretty close. The Atlanta game, the San Francisco game, that second Packers game. So, I mean, they were competitive in some of these games. They just weren't able to finish it off, and I suspect that's going to be the problem on Saturday night. I don't know they can play 4 quarters. You know, I think Ndamukong Suh's actually going to show up in this game. He didn't play in the first contest. I think he's going to want to prove his doubters wrong. Hasn't had a great season, frankly, but I don't believe for 4 quarters the Lions are going to outplay the Saints. I think that's why the Saints have the edge here.
And that only win they have over a playoff team this year was the Denver Broncos, and it was a blowout. But you have to keep in mind about these Lions that they're still young. They're not at the level the Saints are right now. They're not at the level of maturity. And so I think the Saints, you know, I'm not expecting a real close game. I think it's going to be a lopsided win in the Saints' favor. They're not going to beat them in the Superdome after going 8-0 in the regular season. The Saints don't want to let down after getting bounced in the first round last year against the Seahawks. They'll be ready to go.
When these teams met the last time, it was a 31-17 Saints win. May have been a little bit closer than that, but overall, the Saints, the better team. The same thing hold true again?
I feel weak not going with the blowout prediction over here, but no, I do think New Orleans will have to come back at some point early on, but I do think they win this game, probably by about 10 points.
Obviously, you know where I'm going on this one. I'm going with the Saints to win pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be surprised to see it, but you just don't know. This Lions team has so much firepower. Yeah. You know, they can really turn it on at any time. At least should be interesting. It should be a fun game to watch, if not a close one.
I think the team that wins this game, honestly, can go on a run. I really do. So I think if the Lions somehow can come out with a win, they have a chance to win more than one game in the playoffs.
Certainly, if they're good enough to beat the Saints, they're really good enough to probably beat anybody in the league. That's a preview of the playoff game. For the best coverage of the league, check us out at ProFootballWeekly.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about the NFL Draft, and Pro Football Weekly's new draft database has you covered. Check out updated player rankings for over 750 prospects and our exclusive PFW Stock Watch. Just go to the Draft tab at ProFootballWeekly.com.